The NFL is 100% a quarterback driven league. And with that being said, sometimes we push guys to the forefront who probably shouldn't be pushed to the forefront. And I'll be honest with you, Danny, I'm a little bit conflicted when it comes to Jayden Daniels. He is coming off of a fantastic season. He had a great season the year before that as well, right? He won the Heisman Trophy this year. He's got all the hype surrounding him for good reason. For me, when it comes to a quarterback, I could tell a lot about the guy, how he performs when the situation isn't perfect around him. I can tell a lot about a guy, how he performs when things aren't always easy, when you don't have two top 10 wide receivers in the upcoming NFL draft throwing to them. And, when it comes to Jayden Daniels, I can't get out of my head his performance when he was at the University of Arizona. I'm sorry, Arizona State, right? Because you'll correct me on that. When he was at ASU. I can't get that out of my head and how unimpressive he was to me. That was a guy that struggled to throw the ball down the field. Now, was it the system? Was it the coaching staff saying, hey, show us your ability to run the football versus the arm talent? I have no idea. But what I do know is Jayden Daniels didn't stick around. He chose to leave. And albeit he left for a situation that has put him in the spot that he's in right now, right? He went to go play for a bigger school in the SEC, in LSU, and everything that he had hoped for when he left ASU has come true for him. He's become a Heisman. He's become a top pick. I remember me and Daniel having a conversation a couple years back about Jayden Daniels, and Daniel said, and I quote, I could see him probably being a 4th, 5th round pick, but it's really just not that impressive. And I'll be honest with you, I came away sometimes with the same thought process. You're throwing to receivers like Brian Thomas Jr., to Malik Neighbors, to no fault of his own, but it leads me to question, has he really made that big of a jump? Has he really improved that much? Or was he a product of the talent that was around him? Daniel, what say you?
Yeah, I think so. Jayden Daniels, this is two case scenario. What I mean by that is Jayden Daniels is going to get picked high. He is going to be a top 3, top 5 pick. But I'm not a huge fan of him being considered, widely considered as a surefire NFL franchise quarterback. I think Jayden Daniels can be a fine quarterback. I think Jayden Daniels has the potential to be a very good quarterback. But let's talk about, for me, what I see in the actual facts. The fact is he does take a lot of hits. And let's talk about, the areas for improvement. He does take a lot of hits. And that's a fact. You look at the Alabama game. You look throughout his entire college career. He takes a ton of hits. Yes, that's also a good trait. But at the end of the day, you look at his frame. He's a skinnier dude taking a lot of hits. Is that fully sustainable at the next level? We don't know. And that is a concern of mine. Also, a lot of his big-time plays are running the ball. 60-yard scampers are 70-yard touchdowns. And I don't see that being a common occurrence at the NFL level. Yes, he's a great runner. Yes, he may be, a top 2 runner we've ever seen at the NFL level. But it's a different, like him and Lamar are 2 different types of runners. Lamar is shifty. Jayden Daniels is a straight line guy. So for me, the concerns I truly have is, going back to his Arizona State days and at times at LSU against the best competitions, I saw him 1 read, 2 read, and run. And you can blame that on the scheme, sure. But the fact of the matter is he is a 5-year starting quarterback at the collegiate level. He is 24 years old. So as a pure passer, as a pure quarterback, he can still grow. But at 24, you've gone through a lifetime of coaching. You've gone through, we're seeing a lot of what Jayden Daniels can potentially be right now. So for me, that concerns me because, like I said, a lot of his big-time plays, Malik, were running the ball. He throws a great deep ball, 1,000%, one of the best slot fades I've ever seen. A beautiful arc on the ball. But a lot of it, I'm telling you, Malik, I saw clean pockets, 3-step, 5-step drop, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Nobody's there. Run for 30 yards. And I just don't see that happening at the NFL level. So my prediction, Malik, is I think he can be a fine quarterback at the NFL level. And I think we see flashes, but I really struggle to see if he's not surrounded by star wide receivers, if he's not, coached properly. I think Jayden Daniels could be one of the most overhyped prospects because I don't see him being a top 5 or top 10 quarterback at the NFL level.
And just so people understand, Daniel covered him at ASU as Daniel was a part of the media team representing the Right Way Sports Network at ASU. You covered the game, stuff like that. I got a question for you, man, because I feel like you have insight on this and expertise on this because you were the one interviewing him and interviewing Herm and getting, his opinions in. I think it's so important to go back to his ASU days because everything is going to look better at in the SEC with the talent around you. But my question is, why weren't you able to dominate the competition that you played with, in the Pac-12? And when I look at it, man, I say, what happened from his first year starting at ASU? He had 17 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions. I remember a lot of people were excited about him. You were excited about him. A lot of people were hyped and believing that this guy could take the next level. And then he just fell off a cliff. The next year, 701, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. I'm guessing with some injuries he dealt with, or maybe benching, I'm guessing. But then even in his last year at ASU, 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. And then he leaves and transfers, right? And I'd hope that you start to dominate the collegiate level as a 5th-year starter at the quarterback position at some point or another. So my question to you is, what happened from this promising prospect at ASU to where his ASU career just completely just fell off?
So I think that's a great point. And for any person that's a fan of a team that's drafting Jayden Daniels, I think this is the best possible point. The switch from his final year at ASU, he didn't have Brandon Ayuk anymore. He didn't have N'Keal Harry anymore. He had great wide receivers early on in his career, and they succeeded. They had a huge game. He upset Justin Herbert at Oregon. That was his big coming out party. What changed truly was in that 1 year, and you can look at that, and yes, he grew from that 1 year. Yes, he's a far better quarterback than he was, but it truly was, Malik. It was the 1 read, 2 read, get out. I can point to the Utah game. I can point to the BYU game in his final year at Arizona State. When the offense collapsed, when the offensive line wasn't working because it sucked, and his run game wasn't working because they put a QB spy on him, it faltered. Late in games, down 7 points against Utah in the rain, he couldn't come back. And a lot of that, Malik, is truly he wasn't developed as a passer. It was 1 read, 2 read, go. And you saw him frantic. And I think for me, it still scares me when he's on the run and he's looking to run right away. And I think that's a trait that he has. I think he needs to break out of that. He's better now, but compare him to Drake May and Caleb Williams. Both of those quarterbacks outside of the pocket are always looking down the field. Jayden Daniels, not all the time. I think Jayden Daniels still has a long way to grow as a passer when it comes to being pressured. I think he's great with a great offensive line and good wide receivers. I just really struggle to see how Jayden Daniels comes on year 1 and dominates. He needs to land in a very good situation, and he can be a fine quarterback, but Malik, I'm putting my stamp on it now. I don't think he'll ever be a superstar top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how his career is going to shake out. Let us know down in the comment section what your thoughts are. What are your expectations for Jayden Daniels? Do you believe the hype? Do you think he is going to be a franchise savior, a franchise game-changing quarterback, or do you think he's overhyped? Let us know down in the comment section. If you like more video content like this, give this video a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss when we go live or upload content from our or the First Star Logistics studio.